Today, we all know apes and humans are closely related. But what's questionable is man's unbridled domination over animals out of his sense of superiority and entitlement. This belief was single-handedly challenged and changed by a lady from England, and today's video is about her. Meet Jane Goodall, the famous primatologist and global leader in chimpanzee protection. She's known for her decades-long study of the chimpanzees in Gombe National Park, located on the eastern shores of Lake Tanganyika in Tanzania. Valerie Jane Morris-GOODALL was born on April 3, 1934 in Hampstead, London, to a businessman, Herbert Goodal, and Margaret Joseph, a novelist from Milford Haven. She wrote under the name VANNE Morris-GOODALL. The family later moved to Bournemouth. Young Jane attended the nearby Upland School. From an early age, Jane had an interest in animals, the natural world, and above all, the wildlife of Africa. Though she was raised with the typical English values of the time and was expected to get married and mother a few children, her mother never discouraged her interests. Once, Van discovered that little Jane had brought a handful of earthworms to bed. And rather than shrieking, she explained that her new little friends needed the soil to live, and together they took them back to the garden. Instead of the standard teddy bear, her father gave her a stuffed chimpanzee named Jubilee. Goodall has said her fondness for this figure started her early love of animals. She said, "My mother's friends were horrified by this toy, thinking it would frighten me and give me nightmares." This was the starting ground for her lifelong association with the primate. Today, Jubilee still sits on Goodall's dresser in London. After her schooling, she started working as a secretary at Oxford University, and in her spare time also worked at a London-based documentary film company. She had been saving for a trip to Africa, the land of her childhood dreams. The moment came in 1957 when she got the chance to visit the farm of a friend in the Kenya highlands. From there, she obtained work as a secretary and, through friends, got a chance to meet the famed archaeologist and paleontologist Louis Leakey. He was working as the curator of the Corendon Museum in Nairobi. Leakey hired her as a secretary and invited her to participate in an anthropological dig at Olduvai Gorge, a site rich in fossilized prehistoric remains of early ancestors to humans. He was expecting her to get some insights into human evolution. Leakey was impressed by Jane's temperament and her endurance of wild Africa. Overcoming the opposition of his colleagues, he arranged for her primate behavior study in London. She became the 8th person to be allowed to study for a PhD there without first having obtained a BA or a BSc. Leakey then raised funds for Goodall to launch her research on chimpanzees. Jane Goodall camped in Gombe National Park, Tanzania on July 14, 1960, to start her legendary love for the primates that lasted 60 years. Due to safety concerns in the wild, she was accompanied by her mother. The latter was very supportive of Jane to pursue a career in primatology that was dominated by men at the time. Goodall has stated that women were not accepted in the field when she started her research in the late 1950s. Tanzania and Kenya are spectacular, but life there is not as romantic as it looks on TV. The rainforest is excruciatingly hot and humid, infested with venomous creepy crawlies. But Goodall's determination was bigger than everything, and she made the forest her home. While pursuing her passion in the forest, she met her future husband in 1962, Dutch wildlife photographer Baron Hugo van Lawick. He filmed the documentary on Goodall, titled Miss Goodall and the Wild Chimpanzees, produced by the National Geographic Society. It made Jane Goodall a star. Soon, the world knew Jane Goodall as the girl who lived among the wild chimpanzees. She was blonde and looked smart in her khaki shorts as she walked on thick jungle branches in her bare feet and played with chimps. Goodall studied the social and family lives of chimps while following the Kasakela chimpanzee community in Gombe. She introduced a unique trend of naming the chimpanzees like Mike and Gigi instead of the universally accepted method of numbering them. She humanized her interaction with them, and later also got criticism, since it was alleged that naming the subject of research creates emotional attachment and reduces objectivity. She found that all chimps have unique individual personalities, and they exhibit human traits of physical and emotional affection. Ironically, she had been suffering with the medical condition of face blindness, which she discovered at age 60. She also dispelled 2 long-standing beliefs. 1. Only humans can use tools. 2. Chimpanzees are vegetarians. She found that the primates can become brutal and even cannibal in certain circumstances. Setting herself apart from other researchers also led her to develop a close bond with the chimpanzees and to become, to this day, the only human ever accepted into chimpanzee society. She was the lowest-ranking member of a troop for a period of 22 months. Interestingly, in spite of her deep connection with chimps, dogs are Goodall's favorite animals. She's also fascinated with the mythical Bigfoot. In response to Goodall's revolutionary findings, Louis Leakey wrote, "We must now redefine man, redefine tool, or accept chimpanzees as human." Goodall didn't keep her work to the academic realm and became an activist for conservation and animal rights. She founded the Jane Goodall Institute, or JGI, in 1977. It is a global wildlife and environment conservation organization headquartered in Vienna, Virginia. The movement spread, and now it has offices in 25 countries. It works for protecting great apes, improving gender and health outcomes, and promoting sustainable livelihoods. In 1991, she founded the Roots and Shoots program with the goal of bringing together youth from preschool to university age to work on environmental, conservation, and humanitarian issues. It's spread out to 140 countries and involves 150,000 youth. The gender ratio in the field of primatology is evenly balanced for men and women, thanks to Goodall's trailblazing efforts. Also, she stays a vegetarian to match her actions with her words. Baroness Jane Van Lawick Goodall, in the course of her 60 years of study, has established herself to be the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees. She's received several awards and honors for her environmental and humanitarian work. She's served on the board of the Non-Human Rights Project since its founding in 1996. In 2002, she was appointed to serve as the United Nations Messenger of Peace. And in 2003, she was named a Dame of the British Empire and got the title DBE. She's authored many books and has been the subject of about 40 films. In 2016, Time magazine named Goodall as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. At 86, she is full of life and inspires the world with her compassion and tireless efforts to save the planet. We wrap it up with her famous quote, "Every individual matters. Every individual has a role to play. Every individual makes a difference. The least I can do is speak out for those who cannot speak for themselves. The greatest danger to our future is apathy." So who do you think are some of the other people who have contributed towards animal rights and conservation? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the latest updates.